You made it the way you always make it. Same pot, same recipe, same hand. And when you sat down and took the first spoonful, something was missing. Not wrong, not bad, just quieter. Like someone had turned the volume down on the food. So you reached for the salt. And it got saltier. It didn't get better. Everyone else at the table ate the same bowl and said it was fine. That's the part that stays with you. Because if the soup is fine, then the thing that changed is you. So here's what I want you to have in the first 30 seconds. In almost every case, the thing that changed is not your tongue. Your tongue is usually doing its job perfectly. Something else went quiet. And there's a 2-minute test, one you can do tonight in your own kitchen, that tells you which one it was. Let's be clear about what we're actually talking about, because it isn't quite what people say. When someone says, "My taste is gone," they almost never mean that sweet has disappeared. Sugar still reads as sweet. Lemon still reads as sour. Salt still reads as salt. What's gone is the name of the food. The coffee is still bitter, but it isn't coffee anymore. The strawberry is sweet and wet, and that's all it is. The lamb and the chicken start to feel like the same thing on the fork. That's the real complaint, not the loss of taste, the loss of identity. You can still tell what kind of thing is in your mouth. You just can't tell what it is. And the explanation most of us reach for first is the one that fits the fewest facts. Most people land on one of three, and all three are reasonable. That's what makes them hard to put down. The first one, my taste buds are gone. It's the most common explanation and the least accurate. Taste cells are among the fastest renewing cells in the body. They replace themselves every 2 to 4 weeks, your whole life. They do get somewhat fewer and somewhat slower after 50. But next to what happens on the other side of the equation, that change is small. The second one, they don't make food the way they used to. Sometimes true. It just doesn't explain why the soup you made yourself from your own recipe tastes different too. The third one, I'm just getting older. That's a frame, not a mechanism. It doesn't tell you which part changed, and it doesn't give you anything to do on Tuesday. Here's the number that moves all three out of the way. At a clinic that specializes in smell and taste, more than 1,100 people came in reporting that they had lost their sense of taste. Fewer than 1 in 100 actually had. About a third had lost something else entirely, because the thing that went quiet isn't in your mouth at all. Your tongue is a 5-channel instrument. Sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and savoury, which you may know as umami. That is the entire vocabulary of the tongue. Everything else. The coffee-ness of coffee. The strawberry-ness of a strawberry. Cinnamon, roast lamb, warm bread. None of that comes from your tongue. It comes from your nose. When you chew, the food warms and releases tiny airborne molecules. They don't leave through your mouth. They travel up through the back of your throat into the back of your nose. It's called retronasal smell. Smell from behind. And by most estimates, it carries up to 80% of what you experience as flavor. So when that back passage is blocked or dulled, the food does not lose its taste. It loses its name. A stuffy nose does it. Long-standing sinus trouble does it. So do nasal polyps, or an infection that came and went but left something behind, or simply smell receptors that have thinned out over the years. That's the first mechanism, and it's the biggest one by a wide margin. The second mechanism is water. Before your tongue can read a flavor molecule, that molecule has to dissolve. Saliva is the solvent. It lifts the flavor out of the food and carries it to the receptor. No saliva, no no delivery. The flavor stays locked inside the food and never arrives. And a dry mouth is very common, mostly for one reason. More than 400 medications can reduce saliva. Blood pressure tablets, water tablets, antihistamines, antidepressants. Not one of them is doing anything wrong. Dryness is just a side road they happen to run down. The third mechanism is the mouth itself. Some medications change taste directly without drying you out at all. They leave a metallic or bitter taste sitting there whether you're eating or not. And there's a mechanical one. A full upper denture covers the roof of the mouth, and some of the receptors up there stop meeting the food. That's measured and real, and it often eases as you adapt. So which one is yours? The important clue is not that food tastes different. It's what exactly is missing and when. If sweet and salt still work but you can't name the food, look at the nose. If your mouth is dry, worse in the morning, better after water, look at saliva. If there's a taste sitting in your mouth when you aren't eating, or it began within weeks of a new tablet, look at the medication. You've probably already run this experiment yourself at your own table without noticing. Picture that bowl again. You have exactly one adjustment within reach: the salt. So you use it because it's the only dial on the table, not because it's the right one. And it does something. The soup gets saltier. It just doesn't get closer to the soup you remember because the part that went missing was never on that dial. Meanwhile, the person across from you tastes it and quietly puts their spoon down. 2 people, 1 bowl, 2 different meals. Here's a second scene you already know. Soup that's steaming hot smells like something from across the room. The same soup, 20 minutes later, gone lukewarm, is almost anonymous. Nothing about the recipe changed in those 20 minutes. What changed is how much of it made it up into your nose. That's not a small detail. That is the whole mechanism showing up on your own kitchen table twice a day. So here's what to do with that. First, the test. Take something with a clear flavor. A jelly bean, a slice of apple, a piece of cheese. Pinch your nose closed, properly closed, and chew. Pay attention to what you get. Sweet or sour or salt. Those are the tongue channels. Now, still chewing, let go of your nose. If the flavor arrives all at once, like a light coming on, your smell pathway is working. If very little changes, if it's the same before and after, you found the side that went quiet. That isn't bad news. That's a direction. Doctors use this exact test. Second, keep a note for 2 weeks, nothing elaborate. What you ate, roughly when, whether your mouth felt dry, and whether there was already a taste in your mouth before you started eating. If you do end up seeing someone, that page is worth more than anything you'll remember on the day. Third, if your mouth runs dry, sip water through the meal rather than after it. Sugar-free gum or a lozenge. A few minutes before you eat, get saliva moving. Fourth, and this is the one that changes dinner. Stop reaching for the salt and reach for aroma instead. Herbs, black pepper, a squeeze of lemon or a splash of vinegar, savory depth from mushrooms, tomato paste, aged cheese, and serve it hot. Aroma is the channel that went quiet, so aroma is the channel to turn up. And fifth, take your medication list to your pharmacist and ask one question. Is anything here known to dry the mouth or change taste? Sometimes timing can be adjusted. You don't stop anything on your own. Now, the things that get recommended and don't earn their place. More salt doesn't work. The salt threshold really does rise. After 70, people can need 2 to 4 times the concentration just to notice it. But raising the salt raises the salt, not the flavor. And if you're watching your blood pressure, you're paying for nothing. Zinc supplements. You'll see these recommended everywhere. The picture is narrower than the headline. They help people who are genuinely low in zinc, and the reviews that did find a benefit describe their own evidence as very low quality. If you aren't deficient, there's no good reason for high doses. And the resets. Detoxes and cleanses that promise to reset your taste buds. Your taste cells already reset themselves every 2 to 4 weeks. For free, there is no counter to set back to 0. There is one short list worth taking seriously, though. Talk to your doctor if smell or taste went suddenly, especially on one side only. If there's a sore, a white or red patch, trouble swallowing, or a change in your voice that hasn't cleared in 2 weeks. If you're losing weight without trying to. If you're smelling or tasting things that aren't there, or familiar smells have turned unpleasant. If it began within weeks of a new medication, don't stop it. Ask about it. And if a change in smell arrives alongside a change in balance, movement, or memory, mention all of it together in the same visit. One practical thing while you're waiting. If your sense of smell is reduced, put a timer on the cooker and make sure you have a working gas alarm. And if none of that sounds like you, here's where that leaves you. You started tonight with something quiet at the dinner table and one dial to turn. Now you have a different picture. The tongue reports 5 things, and it usually reports them just fine. The name of the food travels up the back of your nose. Saliva does the delivery. And a tablet you've taken for years can sit quietly in the middle of all of it. Tonight, the nose test. 2 minutes, no cost. And at the end of it, you'll know which of the 3 we're dealing with. That's what this channel is for. A small clue is not usually a big problem, but it is almost always pointing at something. And once you know what it's pointing at, you stop guessing and you start adjusting.